Presley is with us this morning. Hi, how
Hi,
are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
As you're watching the monitor and I'm watching you, what are you thinking when you see those old movies?
They bring back great memories. But the book and the documentary isn't just me. I just want to explain it's my daughter, his double first cousin, the only members of the family that are left. Unfortunately, they're not that many anymore. So we wanted to do this, and after much thought, bring my parents in. So it's a combination of great stories, not just mine.
Yeah, because it's this TV special. Right. It is the book, as you said. It is also a CD.
It's also a CD,
I've
yes.
been immersed in all things Elvis this week. Why do you think his legacy has endured?
Well, hopefully we've helped. He's given us so much to share, and I think that he was a very special talent. I mean, Elvis truly was, and I think when you see the documentary, you will realize why he was who he was, and why he captured people's hearts. I mean, there is no other entertainer I can really compare him to.
And this really is an opportunity to sort of reintroduce him to an entire generation whose parents were perhaps familiar with him, but they are not.
Well, this is what prompted us to do this. Lisa and I thought about it, and it was presented to us a while back, and we thought, well, we can't do this. These are our memories. This is what we have to share, and we've exposed so much as it is. But there are many kids now that are visiting Graceland that are asking questions. Why is Elvis still so popular today? And there are many books out there. There's about 500 or more books. So I can understand their confusion on, who's telling the right story. There are so many different versions, and other people are writing it from other books. So it really comes from people who are close to him.
Will you take me back to the time when you first met, because you were 14 years old, and your family was stationed in Germany, and along comes Private Presley. First, before you tell me a little bit about this, I want to hear a clip from your parents as they describe that time as well. That is in the special. Let's listen to this.
I looked over, and Elvis was sitting in a chair, and he was breathtaking. I mean, he was truly much more handsome in life than even on the screen, which is hard to believe. And I was introduced to him, and he got up and he said, well, what do we have here? It was a great evening.
I never expected him to ask me back.
But then the next thing I know, Elvis called, and he wanted to see Cilla. Couldn't understand the whole situation, and we were arguing back and forth that should we, shouldn't we, because after all, how old she was and everything.
I cannot imagine your parents, your father, my gosh. This man is courting his daughter, his 14-year-old daughter. He wants to date you. Right. You're 14 and he's a good 10 years older. My gosh, what was that time like?
You get to see my parents' version of it. This is the first time my parents have ever been interviewed on this subject. There's been a lot of books again saying, my parents gave me away, my parents were promoting me, my parents were, my mother was a stage mother, which was all absolutely untrue. My parents were very concerned for me, my welfare. My parents were but again, this is a very different time. This is 1959, it's 1960, and Elvis was a very nervous, very vulnerable, very family-oriented. He was not, he wasn't your typical.
I don't think that's what people get when they think of Elvis Presley. They think of the public Elvis. We don't get that.
Well, here you get to see the very private Elvis.
Right.
You get to see why you fall in love with him. You see all sides to him in every aspect, and I think you become more of a fan.
Family was very important to him. As we know, his mother held a very special place in his heart. What was life like for you guys when Lisa Marie came along?
Oh my gosh, it changed our lives. It changed his, I know. He always had a very loving way about him, and for someone who hasn't been around children that much, because he had no siblings, he was a natural father. He truly was a natural father. He adored her. He really, we would try to be with him as much as possible, but being on the road was difficult. But he would have her, as a young child on stage. In his audiences with him. So it was a delight to see.
The book is full of these just wonderful pictures, pictures of you, the two of you together. Look at that. What do you think of when you see that
Well, I
picture?
think of happy times. After I see the documentary, I haven't seen these films actually in a long time.
Oh, they're so great.
And then when we put it all together, it made us realize, God, we really had some great times. And I want the audience or the readers to see this because, again, you have much more of an understanding of the man, not so much, as you said before, the performer. You see a very different side of Elvis, and again, in every aspect. By the way, I just found out that the book debuts next week on number 7 of the New York
Well,
Times.
congratulations.
Yes.
It's a lot of fun, and the special, I think, is great. And thanks for letting us peek inside your private life.
Is that it? Are we over?
We are over. Listen, you can stay and talk to me some more. Yes. Priscilla Presley, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Remember, you can see Elvis by the Presleys tomorrow night at 8, 7 Central.